If Photoshop is showing a VRAM error, freezing on startup, or not using your graphics card properly, this video will walk you through the fastest fixes step by step. We're going to cover how to enable and adjust Photoshop's graphics processing settings, how to make sure your system is giving Photoshop enough memory to work with, how to update your graphics drivers the right way, and what to do if GPU acceleration is actually causing the problem. This is one of those issues that can stop your workflow completely, so let's fix it properly. Before we get into it, if this tutorial helps you out, please hit the like button and subscribe for more simple software tutorials just like this. It really helps the channel and it lets you know when new videos are uploaded. First, let's start inside Photoshop. Open Photoshop and go up to Edit, then choose Preferences, and then click Performance. On Mac, you may see Photoshop, then Settings, then Performance. This is the main area where Photoshop decides how to use your computer's resources. Once you're in the performance settings, look for the section called Graphics Processor Settings. Make sure the option labeled Use Graphics Processor is turned on. If Photoshop is unable to use your GPU, that alone can trigger VRAM-related errors. Enabling this option tells Photoshop to offload certain tasks to the graphics card instead of relying only on the CPU. Now click Advanced Settings. Here, you'll usually see a drawing mode option. Change it to basic or normal, depending on what's available on your system. If Photoshop is struggling with a more advanced drawing mode, lowering it can reduce pressure on the GPU and help stabilize performance. This is especially useful if you're seeing random lag, display glitches, or repeated VRAM warnings. Next, look at the memory usage section. Photoshop uses system RAM to support performance, and if your memory is too restricted, your graphics processing can suffer too. Adjust the RAM allocation to around 70 to 80%. That usually gives Photoshop enough room to work while still leaving memory available for the rest of your system and for VRAM offloading. If you set it too low, Photoshop may not perform well. If you set it too high, Windows or macOS may become unstable, so keep it balanced. Now let's move to the next major fix, which is updating your graphics drivers. Outdated or corrupted drivers are one of the most common causes of Photoshop VRAM errors. Even if Photoshop itself is installed correctly, a bad driver can make it think your GPU is missing features or running out of memory. If you use an Nvidia graphics card, download and install the latest Nvidia Studio driver instead of the Game Ready driver. The Studio driver is specifically optimized for creative software like Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and other editing apps. It's usually the better choice if your main goal is stability rather than gaming performance. If you use AMD, make sure your GPU control panel is not forcing gaming-style settings that could interfere with creative applications. Sometimes overlapping features, performance profiles, or extra optimization tools can cause Photoshop to misread how much VRAM is available. Keep things as clean and standard as possible for best results. After updating your driver, restart your computer and then open Photoshop again. Many times that alone clears the error because Photoshop can now properly detect your graphics hardware. If the problem still continues, the next step is to turn off GPU acceleration completely and test whether the graphics processor is the cause. This may sound backwards, but if your GPU is unstable or not fully compatible, Photoshop may work better with acceleration turned off. Go back into Edit, then Preferences, then Performance on Windows, or Photoshop, then Settings, then Performance on Mac. Find the graphics processor settings again, and this time uncheck the box that says Use Graphics Processor. Then click OK and restart Photoshop. When Photoshop reopens, test your project again. If the VRAM error disappears after turning off GPU acceleration, then the issue is likely related to your graphics card, driver, or one of the advanced acceleration settings. In that case, you can keep GPU acceleration off for stability, or continue troubleshooting with driver updates and system settings until it works correctly. To recap, the best way to fix a Photoshop VRAM error is to make sure graphics processor support is enabled when it should be, adjust the drawing mode and memory usage, update to the latest creative focus drivers, and if needed, disable GPU acceleration to see whether that resolves the issue. These steps solve the majority of VRAM errors without needing a full install. If this video helped, please give it a like and subscribe for more Photoshop fixes, editing tutorials, and quick software guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.